Con Stathopoulos and Josh Phegan come together in an incredible podcast, Grow, Scale, Master.
An energetic approach to drive progress, master skills, build strengths and put the strategy back into rapid business and personal success.
Backed by real-world experience in rapid scaling to playing the long-term game of business, it's the story of all the lessons learned on the journey to mastery.
Be inspired, renew your energy and chase the future with Grow, Scale, Master.
Con, you can tell if someone loves what they do.
Oh, yeah.
And you can also tell if someone actually loves their business.
Yes, I agree.
And I think
how can you tell?
Well, like literally they're passionate about it, they're energetic about it, they're on it, they're building the right team, they're clear about their marketplace, they're excited about what it is they're doing, they don't have avoidance behavior, they don't have their head in the sand, they're looking for ways to improve, they're injecting capital back in, they're finding
the offices are clean, they're not cluttered full of rubbish, they've got good quality talent, they're also looking to improve, all of the above, right? But you can tell, it's very visible.
And like I love that whole idea that literally that a bit of who luck. You find the right person at the right time that literally changes your perception and your view. Like you are here with the biggest opportunity. And if you think about it, the business is the greatest sport. We get the chance to be able to go against the toughest competitors and to win time and time again with little to no injury. And we can continue to do this for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
It's life-changing, mate.
And you actually have everything at your feet. But this whole idea is that literally you got to fall back in love with your business, and you can't be unhappy about the competitor set or the market or the change in technology or what's going on with videos or what the CRM is or isn't doing or what someone may or may not have down. Like literally, why are you focusing on so much on the exterior? Why are you focusing on what it is that you're doing?
Yeah.
And like Con, I can see it like in the opening of your new office. I saw the video footage, like how people were feeling, how people looked. I was so envious of not having an invite, but it was awesome to see that.
Yeah.
Let's go in and really get into it.
Okay.
Why do you think that people fall out of love with their business?
They get tired. Mm-hmm. They've got distractions inside of business and outside in life. Mm-hmm. Their vision has changed from when they began, hasn't evolved, or it's evolved in a different way and they don't know how to clearly articulate it.
They call that founder's fatigue.
Yeah, it could be founder's fatigue, but it could also be, I thought I would have been somewhere different at this time and I'm not. Mm-hmm. They've become complacent. I call them...
And sometimes that's not because of failure, that's because of wild success.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's grown too much and I can't handle this
That's
anymore.
Exactly right.
So you're lacking an infrastructure layer with systems and people?
Yeah, I think some people also have that thing too, Josh, where they thought that they would never get to a certain point anyway. And once they have achieved that, that's now their benchmark. That's the glass ceilings, right? Mm-hmm. So I think there's many reasons why people fall out of love with their business, but I kind of look at it and I go, well, how do you fall back in love? Mm-hmm. Right? Because if you've completely fallen out of love, then it's probably time to move on and do something different.
But I like the money.
Yeah, I know you like the money. And if you can do it well and you can be... See, the thing is, we've seen the biggest exodus in business owners merging into groups like mine and others over the last 5 years. Why do you think that's occurred?
Because you're a great recruiter.
But besides that, though, thank you. I appreciate it. I tell you why it's occurred.
Yes.
It's not because I'm a great recruiter. I think people are looking at it now and they're looking for these platforms. They're looking for, hey, how do I plug in? How do I now take my life to a different level? And that doesn't mean, scaling up their business. It means uncomplicating their lives.
So you got to be careful what you commit to.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful what you build. And the whole conversation is that often you don't know where it's going to take you. But what I'm going to say is that like you got to learn to love what you do. And this is not like an eat, pray, love moment where I'm going to be walking down aisle 8 and all of a sudden it's just going to appear me at 8:30 on a Friday night. Like foundationally, literally, you got to become a real master of that conversation. And like, is it about to fall back in love with the vision? Why does the founder fatigue happen? Well, it was new and it was exciting when I was starting it. And it was new and it was exciting in year 1 and year 2 when we started to see rapid growth and we went from 90 to 200 and 200 to 1,000 and 1,000 to 2. But like, does it go from 2,000 to 10,000?
Can I tell you, that's really interesting because it's actually on my mind right now. So I've been reflecting We've had a great year. Revenue's probably not where we wanted it to be, but it's not below where we were last year. Profit's up. We've got some exciting things coming on board. And I was reviewing this, just kind of, just come off a plane trip from Adelaide, and I went, year one was all about survival, but it was that new business energy. Year two was adrenaline. We could run through walls. Year three, we doubled the business. We went from 15 to 30, right? And we're like, oh man, we're unstoppable. We're so good. And then year four, we're like, oh geez, we actually don't have the systems and the processes and the people. And
so infrastructure layer suffered.
Yeah, correct. And then
And this is interesting because, what it means is that, literally some of the people, are trying to do two roles when you actually need someone to do both roles now. And that means a good person's got to let go of an area that they used to have responsibility, but they're a bit of a castle builder, so they still want to be in control.
But you do go through that in your mind, and I can see where that founder fatigue pops in, where they just go, well, what's next? I tell you what's next is better is better. So how do you...
It's a good thing.
It's a great theme. It's our theme for the year. You know that. You were there, right? But it's better is better. How do you actually strip apart what you've built in a positive way and then reduce or eliminate everything that's distracting you, ruthlessly eliminate excuses and really get down to the performance code? What is it that's going to get us to that next level?
So how do you fall back in love with your business?
Well, I've never fallen out of love with it, first of all. I've had lulls where I feel either fatigued, mentally or physically, and I'll take a break. So I love to travel. That refills my cup. That's one part. The second part would normally be, could we do something that no one's ever done, i.e. Super Saturday? Can we have 149 auctions in one day? That's pretty cool. Can we be the first business that gets to X? Could we try this? Would that work? So I start using a bit of creativity. I'm a curious, person by nature, so I like to just kind of test and see whether or not we can do something. The third part is, and I'm going through it right now, is what is the combination? What is that code that doubles the business again overnight? Because it's possible. And I've done it. I've done the waterfall.
Yeah.
It is absolutely possible.
How many salespeople now?
We've got 79 sales.
So one extra transaction per person, call it 80 deals, times it by 10,
what
an extra 800.
There's $8 million in GCI. Yep. Okay,
So
recruit a couple of people, do a couple of mergers and acquisition.
We've got it done.
That's exactly right.
But what it comes down to is that you've got to get excited.
Yes.
And there's an old school saying that no one will ever be more excited about you than you.
Absolutely.
So you have got to literally be in a position, I have this interesting conversation. Someone said to me once, hey, we'd like to buy your business. Okay, great. And the first time that happened, I rang one of my mentors and I said, hey, I've got this person who wants to buy my business. And he's like, right. He goes, I said, and tell me how he told you that. And I said, this person rang me and they said, Josh, we've got this really big opportunity for you. He goes, okay, right. He goes, I need you to replace some of that language. I'm like, what's that?
I
want you to replace big opportunity with, they've got a really big problem and their cheapest way of solving it is getting you to come in.
Yeah.
And he said, don't forget, you're a consultant. Go and consult to solve the issue.
Correct.
It says stay in control. And so I think that this is interesting, is that sometimes when you're lacking commitment to your vision, other people are selling theirs.
Yes.
And they're hoping that you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because naturally that helps them in the progress of their world.
Yes.
But what actually can become is a really big distraction where you're not actually executing on the excellence factors that will make the difference in where your business is going to go. And, you can't be in this position because you've got to say, hey, one or two little moves today might not be the result, but I know that if I keep on doing those one or two little moves and I do it over a period of time for sustained energy and effort, there will be the day that competitor rings up and wants to merge, and there'll be the day that person wants to come on board, and there'll be the day that that position opens up, and then it all comes.
Josh, this is a long game. Okay, it's a marathon with a series of sprints, and every level of growth or change requires a new version or an operating system of ourselves, right? And so it's really important that realigning, why are you doing this? What was the vision? How did you articulate? Have you actually achieved your goals? See, I thought we had achieved our goals, and then I went, oh my gosh, I'm playing low level right now because the opportunity pot is so big. It's not the financial reward, because there are great businesses out there that do 100 sales a year and they're financially sound and they've got an incredible life and lifestyle and they do great work in the community. I'm talking about how good can you be and are you good enough to be better? That's the key. Are you good enough to be better? So those times when you got that founder fatigue, doesn't matter what level you are, you're an agent, property manager, how do you level up? What's going to get you out of bed? So for me, it's all about customer experience. And, now I've got no idea when it comes to like AI. We've spoken about this before on the podcast. Now I'm doing a course online. I want to understand this and it changes so free. So it's all about the pursuit of excellence and what's next, right?
So how do you work out if something is an opportunity or a distraction? Now, I'll go with this for 2 secs. So maybe 14 or 15 years ago, I was lucky enough to be in a very casual setting with Simon Baker. Now, Simon Baker was the original portal guy in Australia.
Yeah.
He does a lot of portal reporting and whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, Simon, how do you make that decision about like what businesses you get involved in? And he said, hey, Josh, it's pretty easy. I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, well, number one, can I get a minimum of $20 million in profit? Number two, can I actually be in multiple countries? Number three, can I scale it with technology? Number four, does it have really good adjacencies? And number five, is it actually something I like? He goes, if it doesn't meet those five, I don't do it.
Yeah.
And I remember walking away with that. I was like,
it's a decision-making
$20 million in profit. I was trying to get that in rev. And so, but like the interesting thing is that what he actually did is exactly right, is that he has a set of rules.
Yes.
Now, if you look at Ray Dalio's principles, he actually said he has like a set, so what are your core principles? And stop bending the rules or flexing because this is a nice distraction today.
Yeah.
And instead say, okay, great. So if Con says, hey, I would like my net wealth to improve by X, I want to make sure that I've got really good quality business to pass down to my kids. I want to be in a position I've got something that can scale with great people. I want to make sure that my partners are financially, emotionally successful, as a part of that journey, and whatever those things are. And then when an opportunity comes that way, if it doesn't meet your strict criteria, it's a no.
Yep.
And we need more discipline.
Yep.
To say no.
Yeah, I've experienced that, Josh. Last 12 months, I probably said yes to too many things I should have said no to. And now on reflection, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, the ability to, like I said earlier, ruthlessly eliminate distractions. That's the thing that unwinds a lot of people. They start chasing something shiny, or they go, you know what, maybe I'm going to expand into this market or this adjacency. The simplicity is the genius. Just nail the basics. If you turn up and nail the basics, what do they do when they're playing footy? So AFL, I'm a man. All they do every single day is drill the basics, right? And then they get to put it all together because they've got a big vision and a big why, and then they go and execute and play like a team. Business is exactly the same.
Yeah, this is interesting because with the AI side of stuff with Claude, I've had the daily check-in every day, and the thing that's like what excites and what motivates.
Right.
So what excites you? What motivates you? And I'm like, man, you know what excites me is like seeing the light bulb turn on for someone.
Yeah.
What I really enjoy, what motivates me is using creativity. I love finding someone in a dark room and giving them some sunshine.
Yeah,
like finding a way. Like, let me show you where the light switch is. I'll just turn it on.
Yeah.
And so literally and this is interesting, like you got to know what excites and what motivates.
Yeah.
And there's an old school thing that we do in Blueprint, the teen section, what matters, what motivates. What matters, great relationship with mum and dad, really good quality work, feeling healthy, having something to look forward to, being in a position I really know that I made an impact whilst I'm here on earth. What motivates? Listen to a song on Spotify, call Con, send a message to Emily. All of those, go and see Franklin. So like whatever the story is, you got to know what that looks.
Yeah, there's a really good video that people should Google, and it's Nick Kyrgios interviewing Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it?
Yes. Yeah.
And he goes,
I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, you did. You did actually.
Yes.
And he said, Kyrgios says to McConaughey, hey, I'm about to go on the court. Coach me, give me some motivation. And you could see Matthew, he starts, shifting, go, look, you know what, you know what you're doing. And he goes, hang on, just pause.
Yeah.
Do you think you've got it in you to love it? And I think for me, I get goosebumps every time I hear that and I see it, simply because it simply comes down to what do you love and how can you become better?
So Khan, like what would it take for you to fall back in love with your business?
All right. Yeah, exactly. It's so cool, man. We're so lucky. This is the greatest gift we've ever been given.
Experiences that rapidly shaped you.
Con, on the front page of the New York Times, about 6 months after 9/11, there was a headline and it said, "Don't rebuild, reimagine."
Yeah, I remember that.
So if you think about that, if you say, okay, imagine I exit my business and I go and start again, knowing what I know now in terms of infrastructure, people, whatever, all of that stuff, then ultimately, what would I do to reimagine what's actually possible?
Yeah.
And like, because often we get like tied in a lot to the things that we've got around us.
Attachment.
And when we're serving that.
Well, I had a great question that was asked to me the other day.
Yeah.
Right? And I've written it down, which is incredible. What would your business need to look like if you made the decision to stick with it forever today? Mm-hmm. Does it look like that? Mm-hmm. So you're stuck with it for the next 20 years? Mm-hmm. Is it what you've got right now? No? Then what do you need to change?
Something that's changing your view.
You go to the beach, you see a lifeguard, and they've got a blackboard, and on that blackboard is high tide, low tide, temperature of the water, and if there's sharks.
Yeah.
But yet we go into a real estate business, and no one has, like in the sales meeting, a forecast of what's ahead.
Right.
In terms of market conditions,
Yeah.
current listings, current supply, what's actually been sold. No one's saying, hey, this is what you do in the markets like this. This is what you do in terms of the behaviour. Be cautious that in a couple of weeks' time is going to be a public holiday.
Yep.
Short work week.
Yep.
Make sure you got your plan for what you're doing now to be listing for July, August, September. Why are we so poor about having a consistency of a meaningful forecast, to help our people to adapt?
Well, first of all, they don't subscribe to your daily tips from Josh. And secondly is people got their blinkers on. They can't see in front, what's in front of them.